Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to give a recap of Mama June's Road to Redemption this past Friday's episode. If you have not watched it yet and you want to wait to watch it, please click off this video because it will be spoilers in here. I'm literally giving a breakdown of what happened on that episode. If you were here for that, welcome. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and let's get into it. So the episode started off with Josh sitting on the couch next to Pumpkin. She just sprung this positive pregnancy test on him. He's looking at it, and after a few minutes, Pumpkin says, "Can you say something? Are you happy? You're just sitting there. I need to know what you're thinking." And Josh says, "Yes, I am happy, but at the same time, I'm a little worried. I'm a little concerned because we have Jessica who's sleeping on our couch. We have Alana who has her own room. We already have Ella, so like the house is going to be a little crowded once new baby gets here, and I'm not working. So just a little concerned, but yes, I am happy." Pumpkin tells Josh that she has concerns as well, and one of her concerns is Alana. She said, "Alana has already told me that she feels like a burden, and she feels like maybe she's the reason we fight. So I feel like at this time, we don't need to tell anyone that I'm pregnant, especially Alana, because I don't want Alana to feel like she's going to be more of a burden on us once the new baby gets here." So they decide they're not going to tell Alana. Alana actually walks in as they're discussing this, so they both just shut up, and you could tell that they were talking about something, because even Alana was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they both was like, "Oh, just chilling. Nothing." Josh shoved the pregnancy test up underneath the pillow, and Alana said, "You guys are weird. I'm going to get something to eat," and she walks off. Pumpkin then tells Josh, "Get that out from underneath the pillow. I peed on it." So he removes it, and then we flip to the next scene. So the next scene is Josh is going out with his friend Cody. Cody has been featured on several of the episodes. They're out at a restaurant having lunch, but they have a lot of beer with them. They actually have like a bucket of Bud Light all around them. They have shots on the table, and he tells his friend Cody that Pumpkin is pregnant. So Cody is like, "Okay, I guess this is going to be like our last hoorah before you become the dad of two." Josh agrees, and he's like, "Me and Pumpkin have went through a lot. We've had a lot of ups and downs, and I feel like I need to get her something just to show how much I love her, because there's a lot of love there." And he says, "But it has to be something that comes from the heart. It can't just be something, that you could just buy from Walmart, like a flower or something like that. It has to come from the heart." So they sit there, seemingly inebriated, trying to think of a good idea of what Josh could get Pumpkin as like a pregnancy gift. And they go through a list, a few dirty pictures. No. Josh says, "Dip myself in chocolate." He's like, "Nah, probably not." Josh then comes up with the idea to get a tattoo. In a confessional, it shows him saying that he already has a tattoo of Ella's name that Pumpkin really likes. So he thinks getting a tattoo of Pumpkin's name, she will like that as well. So the two head off to the tattoo shop. Now, when Josh got home from getting the tattoo, Pumpkin was in the bathroom, wrapped up with the toilet, having a case of morning sickness. So he walks in and he sits down on the shower, checks on her, of course, asks how she's feeling. She's not feeling well. And she asks him, she's like, "Do I smell beer on you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I went and had a few drinks with Cody." And she tells him, "You really should have been out looking for a job rather than drinking." He tells her, "Look, I got this, but, finding out that you're pregnant, I felt like I needed to just have like one last little hoorah. And while I was there, I decided to get you something." And he shows her this new tattoo that he has. And the tattoo is of a big pumpkin with the name Pumpkin written across it. And she seems shocked. At first, she's like, "I don't really get it." And he's like, "Pumpkin, your name, Pumpkin. You love my tattoo of Ella, so I thought you would really like the tattoo of, me getting your name on me." And then she says, "I like it. It's okay. I think I can deal with it." They then talk about how they're going to make things work, that they're going to do whatever they have to do to make sure they bring this new baby into a family where everyone is happy and healthy. And they just kind of make an agreement that things are going to be okay, that they're going to do whatever they have to do to make sure that things are okay. It flips to a scene at the house where Pumpkin is folding laundry, and she's talking to Ella about the birthday party coming up. They talk about the size of the cake they need, and then Ella says she wants her Gigi to be there. Gigi is Mama June. So Pumpkin asks her, "Why do you want your Gigi to be there?" And she says, "Because she's the best. I want her at my party." So Pumpkin says, "Okay, we'll make sure she's there." Little Ella gets down off her stool and runs, super happy that Gigi's going to be at her party. The next scene is Jennifer and Janice. Now, I couldn't remember who Janice was. I was like, who is Janice? I know she's some relation to June. And someone commented and said, I think that's June's mom. And I was like, wow, that would be terrible. But it's actually not June's mom. It's June's sister-in-law. So I guess it's June's brother's wife, maybe? Sister-in-law, whatever. So Janice and Jennifer, they're having lunch like they normally are. And they're talking about the fact that the last time they met, Jennifer had kicked Mike out. So she says Mike's back at home. And Janice asks, you know, what was he doing? Was he cheating? Was he with June? And she tells her, no, he wasn't with June, but he was with Alana. He was with Alana, and he felt like he couldn't tell me that because he was scared that I would get mad. So I told him from now on, if he wants to spend time with his daughter, he just needs to let me know, and that will be fine. But she also told Janice that she will never interact with that side of the family. She said she will be over here, and they can be over here. They are never to mix or mingle. The next scene, we see Mama June, who is still unpacking in her new place. Her and Gino just got a more permanent spot. They have court coming up still, but they did get a new spot and they're unpacking. She's putting up a picture of Ella and Pumpkin, and right as she tries to put the picture up, Pumpkin gives her a call. Pumpkin explains to her that there is a party coming up. Ella is turning 3, and that Ella would like for Gigi and Gino to be there. June seems excited that she's being invited. At this point, June still does not know where Pumpkin and Josh live. So she's like, so you're finally going to tell me where you live? Pumpkin's like, yes, of course. June then asks, can you give me like a general location of where you live so I can look at hotels in the area? So when we come in for the weekend, we can have a hotel to stay in. Pumpkin tells her that she don't want them to blow any money and that she feels like it would be okay if Mama June and Gino stay at their house that weekend. Mama June even says, well, what about Josh? Like, do you think Josh is going to be okay with that? And Pumpkin says, I wear the pants in this relationship. I got Josh. Don't worry about it. So obviously when Mama June gets off the phone, she's super happy. She yells for Gino. She tells Gino the exciting news. And she says, look, we got to go get gifts. We need to go get gifts right now. So they leave and they go to a little gift store that has a bunch of cute little gifts for little kids. Of course, Mama June is just going all out. I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. Gino picks up this cute little like gift that has like the little teeth, and he says we could get this for Sugar Bear. Mama June says, oh, he's not going to be there, and he says we can send it in the mail to him, which is obviously kind of funny because we know that Sugar Bear doesn't have any teeth. So they are clearly trying to go all out for Ella for her birthday party, trying to get a bunch of gifts. Next scene is back at the house. We see Pumpkin walking through the house to see where everybody's at. Alana is in her room on her Zoom call, so Pumpkin goes in the kitchen and she pulls out the bottom of the oven where she has a stash of cupcakes, M&Ms, and a lot of sugary products that she's not supposed to be eating because she is trying to get healthy, right? So she grabs a bag of M&Ms, sits up on the counter, and starts eating. Just a few minutes later, Alana walks in, shocked to see her sister sitting on the counter, eating a bunch of M&Ms. So she's like, what are you doing? And she tells her, look, I'm just having a snack. You know, nothing's wrong with me having a snack. At this point, Alana does not know that Pumpkin is pregnant, and this could be the reason why Pumpkin is craving sugary items. Alana asked Pumpkin, why did you hide it down there? And she said, I had to hide it from Ella and from you, you know, because you don't care about your health. We just found out about your dad and what he went through with his diabetes, and it's possible you could have diabetes. And we've been telling you, you need to watch what you eat, and you don't. I got you some healthy snacks, and you don't want to eat them, so I had to hide this. And Alana tells Pumpkin, I don't know why you're so worried about it. It's my dad that is a diabetic, not me. And then she walks out. Next scene, we get to see Josh go job hunting. Now Josh knows that like it's down to the wire. They're having a new baby. Even though they have money saved up, they really don't need to spend that. They need to get on the ball with him getting a job. So he's going job hunting to several different places. He's dressed up nice. He goes to a few businesses. He goes to a mechanic shop. Then his last stop is to Sugar Bear. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently Sugar Bear owns like a landscaping business because he walks in and Sugar Bear is sitting at his desk. There's a bunch of mowers everywhere, a bunch of trucks. And he walks in and he says, look, I come to you because I need a favor. I need a job. And he lets it slip that Pumpkin is pregnant. And he says, you know, we're really in need right now because my family's about to get bigger. Sugar Bear says, well, I guess congratulations are in order. I'm happy for you guys. And you know, you done me a favor when my wife kicked me out. You let me sleep in the backyard. So I guess I owe you a favor. And Josh says, I'm here to collect on that favor. And Sugar Bear says, it just so happens that I need a weed eater guy. And Josh says, well, here I am. So they agree that Josh will take the job and will start working the next morning at 9 a.m. Now, one thing that I thought was a little funny, right? Sugar Bear owns his own landscaping business. He has this big shop where he has all these lawnmowers parked, and he has an office. So why did he have to sleep in a tent in Josh's backyard? Why didn't he just go to his office and like put a little blanket down on the floor? Right? This is one of those things where it's like, it was all planned. It was all planned, you guys. It's a part of the TV show. It's for the drama, right? Clearly. Okay, so we go back home. The next scene is Alana at the kitchen table. She has Ella sitting there with her, and they are couponing. They're looking through the sale papers, and they are cutting coupons out. If you watch Mama June, like way back in the day, one thing that you would know is she used to coupon a lot, to the point to where she had like a whole closet full of laundry detergent that she never paid a dime for because she got them all with couponing. So Honey Boo Boo says, look, my mama passed this down to me. I know that Josh and Pumpkin are in a spot to where things are getting tight. I can't get a job yet, so this is the only thing that I can do, and I'll teach Ella how to do it as well. So they're sitting there at the table, and they are clipping coupons. Pumpkin walks in and asks, like, what are you guys doing? And Alana says, you know, I can't help any other way, so I'm going to cut these coupons so it will help save on the grocery bill. Once again, this tells Pumpkin, like, oh crap, Alana feels like she's a burden. She feels like it's because of her that our grocery bill is high. So, like, she really, once again, feels like I can't tell her I'm pregnant because it's going to cause her even more stress and make her feel even more like a burden. Now, later that night, all of the girls are sitting on the couch. They have these like little juice squeeze things that I've never seen before in my life. And they're eating a lot of sugary items. And Alana tells Pumpkin, it's nice to have you back to this side again, like eating junk food, because like it was hard when you were eating healthy items. So I'm glad to have you back. They have a race where they're squeezing the juice things in their mouth. And as they're doing that, Josh walks in, and of course he's wearing like his little suit, but his tie has pulled down some. So he sits down beside Pumpkin, and Pumpkin says, you should have let me help you with your tie this morning. And he said, no, I had my tie, but I loosened it once I got a job. And everyone was like, oh, great, you got a job. Where did you get your job at? And he said, well, I went and talked to a friend of mine that owed me a favor. And Pumpkin is like, so who is this friend? He said, oh, just a friend of mine named Mikey T. Well, then they start joking that maybe Mikey T is one of his friends. It's like a wannabe rapper. Alana even says, is Mikey T like one of those friends of yours that like wants to rap? And then they start joking about Mikey T on the track, Mikey T on the mic, or all of that stuff. It's really funny. And he's like, no. And then Alana says, I need to know who this Mikey T is. And Josh says, you know what? You kind of remind me of Mikey T. You know, the chin, y'all's chin is very similar. You look a little bit like him. And Pumpkin figures it out. She's like, hold up. Are you working for Sugar Bear? And he's like, yep, got a job with Sugar Bear. And he tells them, because Alana was like, why did you get a job with my dad? And he said, well, you know, when you need a job, you need a job, and no one's hiring. And he owed me a favor, so I went and collected on that favor, and now I work for him. And he also told Pumpkin, now that I'm working for Sugar Bear, you cannot be fighting with Jennifer. Like, you two are going to have to get along. So the next scene is the next morning where Josh is getting ready to go to work. He has to be at work at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Pumpkin gets up to make him breakfast. He walks in, and she tells him to grab a chair and sit down. She was going to tell him at this point that she invited Mama June to Ella's birthday party. So she tells him, she's like, get a chair, sit down. I need to talk to you about the party while you eat your breakfast before you go to work. And he tells her, I don't really have much time. I have to be at work. Mikey T's calling me. So she makes him a plate, and he leaves. In a confessional, she said, you know, I'm really not too worried because I didn't want to have that discussion with him anyways. I'd rather wait to tell him that I invited Mama and Gino to spend the weekend of Ella's birthday here at our house. So he goes to work. The next scene that we see is Josh at the end of his work day. They are parking the lawnmowers, making sure that they have gas. And him and Sugar Bear stand there talking for a minute. And he tells Sugar Bear, I really appreciate you giving me this job. It's really going to help. And then he tells Sugar Bear, look, we have a birthday party coming up this weekend for Ella. I think you and Jennifer should try to come out. Not knowing that Mama June and Gino have already been invited. And Sugar Bear says, you know, my wife and your wife, they kind of butt heads, but I'll try to get her there. If she don't go, I'll for sure be there. Josh is shown in the confessional saying like, holy crap, I don't know what it is. I just can't keep my mouth shut when I'm talking to him. I let all the secrets slip, but what can it hurt? If anything, like they'll come and maybe Pumpkin and Jennifer, they can get along. Now Josh heads home and then we get to see Sugar Bear making it in from work. Jennifer is sitting in the recliner and she asks Sugar Bear, why are you late from work? Like, you should have been home earlier, so why are you late? And he tells her, I had to hire a new guy, so we were training today, so that's why I'm late. Jennifer asks him, who's the new guy? He really don't want to go into it with Jennifer, you can tell, because he's like scared. And he's like, oh, nobody, just somebody who came into the shop looking for a job. And she reminds Sugar Bear, when I let you come back home, one of the agreements was that you would not lie to me. And I feel like you're lying to me. So what do you have to tell me? Because I can already tell something's not right. And he finally breaks down and he's like, okay, look, the new guy was Josh. I hired Josh. I owed him a favor. And anyways, Pumpkin's pregnant, so they really need the income right now. Jennifer, she is like, what? She's pregnant. They're going to bring a baby into this when they already have a hard time taking care of themselves. You know what I feel like Sugar Bear probably should have said? I'm giving him a job because he takes care of my daughter and I don't pay child support. So how about that? Rather than they're having a new baby, so we're helping with that. Now, how about I'm giving him a job because they take care of my daughter? Whatever. He tells Jennifer, he's like, look, it's a secret. Nobody knows that Pumpkin is pregnant yet. So please don't tell anybody. And Jennifer says, I'm going to tell everybody. The next scene is Pumpkin, Jessica, Alana, and Ella. They are all over at Dodo's eating. They're eating barbecue. And Pumpkin is really getting on to Alana about how much she's eating. When they sit down to eat, Alana has 2 barbecue sandwiches and a plate full of chips. So she tells her, she's like, that's a lot of bread that you're eating. You don't need to eat that much bread. You should have ate a salad. They sit down and they start eating. And Pumpkin tells Dodo and Amber that Mama June has been invited to Ella's birthday party. Now, as soon as she said that, Amber, who is Dodo's daughter, is like, what, are you serious? And she said, well, this is going to be an interesting party because I have a lot of stuff that I want to say to her. She even asked Pumpkin, are you going to drug test her at the door? And Pumpkin says, no, I want to trust her. So this is like steps for me to trust her. So no, I'm not going to drug test her when she comes to the birthday party. I'm just trusting that she's going to be sober when she comes. And Amber's like, well, she done a lot of hurtful things to my mom and I'm going to call her out on it and I'm going to talk to her about it. And Pumpkin tells her quick, like, look, you may have some stuff you want to say to my mama, but Ella's birthday party is not the time and not the place. So do not bring that up at the birthday party. Once they're done eating their barbecue, Alana gets up to go get some dessert. And Pumpkin even tells her, hey, grab me a cookie while you're up there. So she comes back with 1 cookie for Pumpkin and like a stack of cookies for herself. And she sits down and Pumpkin gets on to her. She's like, Alana, you just ate 2 barbecue sandwiches with a bunch of chips. And now you're eating like 5 cookies. Like, you really have to watch your weight. You really have to watch the fact that you could be a diabetic. You do not need to be eating like this. Once again, Alana gets upset. She's like, I'm not the diabetic. My dad is. You guys need to stay off me. Relax. And Pumpkin tries to tell her, like, you don't know if you're a diabetic. You could be a diabetic. And at the rate that you're going, you could end up in a diabetic coma. Alana then gets really angry and she tells Pumpkin that she needs to get over it or she will move in with Mama June in Florida. And that's where the episode ends, you guys. It picks back up. We have the birthday party coming up. We know that something happens at the birthday party where Mama June ends up in handcuffs and in the slammer. So I'll make sure to watch that episode and give that recap to you guys next week. Make sure, if you're interested in watching, you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel and make sure your post notifications are on so you are notified when I upload that video. Make sure you leave me your thoughts about this episode in the comments section below. Do you guys think that it's going to work out with Josh working for Sugar Bear? Also, how do you think it's going to work when Mama June shows up at the birthday party and Jennifer and Sugar Bear are already there? I think it's going to be explosive, you guys, and I'll make sure I do a video as soon as that episode airs to give you guys the details of that episode. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.